Today in the crypto space, we see another day of negativity and some weird chop price action. Bitcoin right around $108,400, down approximately 3%. Ethereum still around 3,800, however, also down approximately 5% today. In the rest of the crypto space, deep in the red, as you can see, we have Solana, Cardano, SUI, and many others coming down to lower levels. The question is, guys, what should we be focusing on? Are we focusing on Bitcoin? Are we focusing on ETH? Are we still degening in some of these altcoins? But of course, here on the channel, we're looking for opportunity. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, and I want to focus on SUI because the question obviously is SUI the opportunity? So you know what? Let's talk about the news. Let's analyze the charts and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins. Looking for opportunity, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's begin because we should be looking for opportunity. And, of course, today we're going to be talking about SUI. That SUI could be the opportunity. A lot of people have been asking me about SUI. What's going on with SUI? You know, how's the price action? Are we going to get a bit of relief? And I think it's just because SUI was looking so good and was behaving very well earlier on in the cycle, of course. Now that we've been coming down, a lot of us, bought into SUI, believed in the SUI ecosystem, and, ultimately SUI has been coming down. Although there's people fighting SUI because they're underwater and, maybe looking for SUI for buying the dip. We know that we have some good ecosystem projects there that are also taking a bit of a hit, but it's not exclusive to SUI. It's exclusive to none. All projects right now are not looking the greatest. The altcoin market hasn't gotten its moment yet. So, guys, this is how it is. The scenario where we see the altcoins not do well, and then people say they're dead, and then all of a sudden they pump, and then they hate the rally, and then it comes down and nobody buys, and then it rallies one more time. This happens all over the place, all the time, every cycle. And the problem is that right now, it's tough times. Guys, today's price action was crazy. And I've been calling this crazy price action for the last 3 days. Crazy price action, where no bull or bear is benefiting. Nobody's benefiting. The only people that benefit really are exchanges, people that are manipulating, market makers. These are the only people that benefit from this type of price action. Look at the trading volume has come down. People are annoyed. People are bored. People are worried. People are fearful. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt all over the place. The amount of people that are turning bearish have increased significantly. And this is where ultimately for me, the bearish thesis on the lower time frames, I'm talking about the 4-hour, maybe lower, are quite strong, right? The thing is that this is where it's the optimal time to start building your bullish thesis. Why? Because it's the path of least resistance is to the downside. The path right now with the most resistance that I'm sensing based on sentiment is to the upside. Well, you have to choose. Right now, if everybody's looking bearish, are you going to be part of that herd? Or are you going to be looking for where the opportunity may lie? And the opportunity usually lies where nobody think it is, right? Which could be right now the biggest move to the upside where a lot of people get left behind. Now, I'm not trying to, just spread hopium here, but it is what it is. To be honest, right now is where we should be considering both case scenarios, the bullish and the bearish thesis. Okay, so let's quickly look through the top 100, and then we'll jump right into the SUI chart. We'll take a look at what SUI's been up to in the last little while. As you can see, trading volume is coming down, market cap going sideways. This is stagnant. This is boring, boring price action. People are going to start capitulating based on time-based capitulation. Guys, this is not good, right? It's not good for the markets in the short term, but in the long term, guys, this is good. I'd rather see time-based capitulation than price-based capitulation in my book, right? I think that our portfolio already has endured quite a bit of the price-based capitulation. We do see that Bitcoin today was another day of craziness. Crazy price action today. Another round. Round three. Ethereum, round three. It's starting to look like a stable coin with ADHD. That's what it looks like right now. BNB sideways. The whole market is fairly sideways, sloppy, no real edge, both bearish and bullish, no real major edge. If you're trading that range, good luck, guys. I wish you all the best, because that range right now, choppy, choppy, choppy for everybody. Chop price action gets everybody wrecked. Long, shorts, everybody's getting wrecked. So you don't want to give back your gains or give back whatever you put your capital, or give your capital to the market, because I don't know if anybody's in any gains right now. I don't know, but technically you don't want to be giving back capital or giving capital to the exchanges right now. This is where most people give back to the market. This sideways, choppy, choppy price action. Again, unless you're scalping those lower time frames, guys, be careful out there. Even SUI is down 6.3% to the downside. In the last 7 days, 10%. It's one of the bigger dips today, and that's one of the reasons why I want to talk about it. Based on the on its market cap, it is one of the bigger dips, right? But still within range, guys. It didn't make a lower low, so it's not FUD it even more than it already is. In fact, look at AVAX. AVAX market structure-wise looks even worse in a way, because not only is it down 12% in the last 7 days, and also down almost 6% for today. Look at the market structure. It's pretty sideways flat, but it didn't even get a pump in the last little while. At least, SUI got a little bit of action, as you can see, to the upside. So it is what it is, guys. This is how the market has been in the last 3 days. I warned you about it. I told you guys, this is where things get hectic, because you have to understand, when we get these calm before the storm moments, guys, this is the time where you got to lock in. This is the most important time. This is critical levels, right? We could expand really hard, both bearish or bullish scenario. Obviously, for me, the bias is to the upside. Continuation always comes first. Everything else needs to fight for its attention. Right now, the trend has been up in the last while. Guys, Bitcoin's still good. Fundamentals are still great. Everything's still looking okay. Of course, the altcoin market is keeping that sentiment at bay, but it is what it is. Ultimately, guys, this market right now, the way it is, it's due for an expansion, a big one. And the question is, which way do we go, right? We have to be on our toes. Your spot bags are the ones that you should be focusing on right now, in my opinion. Prepare those and trade those lower time frames, because ultimately that's where you're going to get those opportunities. All right, guys, enough about this. It doesn't look so good. Red price action everywhere, as you can see. Red, 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 red. Sideways, 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 sideways everywhere. Even gold's coming down a little bit further, guys. That's good indications, okay? Just keep that in mind. It's good indications, but nonetheless, guys, red and sideways everywhere. All right, guys, I know you're here to talk about SUI. We'll talk about charts in a second. SUI, $2.44 for SUI, which is pretty good. It's generally speaking, based on this chart, you can see it's not that bad. We'll look at it on TradingView in a second. Market cap wise, it is a large cap. We know that $8 billion market cap is pretty big. 8.8, almost 9, which is pretty, definitely quite large. It was higher before, as the price was higher, of course. And we can see that it's almost fully diluted, which is great. At the end of the day, we got max supply, total supply. So that's the market cap. No, it's not. I stand corrected here. No, absolutely not. There's a lot of tokens that still need to enter circulation, guys, as you can see, right? We only at circulating supply is only at 3.6, where we see total supply at 10, which means that we got a lot. Usually, if you hover over here, it sometimes gives you a percentage. I know CoinMarketCap does that. It gives you a percentage of how much right into here, but you can see 3.6. Yeah, there is a lot of potential tokens that still need to enter the market. So keep that in mind. Let's see what we got here on socials. SUI, at the end of the day, good amount of followers, 1 million followers, guys. This is the thing. It came out hot. A lot of people were interested in SUI earlier on in the cycle, and then all of a sudden now we see it's with this choppy price action. It keeps people a little worried, and then people questioning what's happening. Well, what's happening with SUI? Where's your pinned comment? What's the most important thing that we should be knowing about right now about SUI? The fact that there's no pinned comment and they're asking what's happening, kind of bothers me. Like, you should be telling me what's happening right now. You should be excited about something. And if you're not, that means you're not cooking. Come on, you got to get cooking, SUI. You got to do something. We have Elixir basically expands to SUI with fresh DEUSD integrations. We got stable coins happening here. Great, nice little arrangement here. I like that. SUI and layer zero core is doing its thing here. Equals true cross-chain, composability. Layer zero is live on the SUI network, making the sub-second chain accessible over 600 apps and 80 billion in tokens, including Bitcoin and Elixir. So we got lots of stuff here. Good liquidity, access to liquidity here. $80 billion worth. Not bad. Cross-chain capabilities bring you that liquidity built for players. So we're talking about gaming. You remember SUI was, trying to spearhead that gaming narrative, specializing or focusing on gaming. And this is, obviously maybe not the best choice in the last little while, given that gaming has been taking a bit of a beating and not really catching any bids. But I also think that gaming one day is going to wake up and leave a lot of people, behind. It is the perfect implementation for blockchain technology. If you truly understand tokenization of currency, tokenizations of non-fungible tokens and all that kind of stuff, guys, gaming is a perfect space, perfect sandbox for proof of concept for actual real world implementation. So I kind of like this regardless. But SUI Play, the next chapter of Brave Frontier, is built on SUI. Go check it out. Some gaming happening there. Bitcoin is powerful but underutilized. I think that this statement right here is a big one. And it is definitely a statement that I agree with. Trillions in value sitting idle. Agreed. It's a store of value. Does great, but it's idle, right? And it's hard to get liquid in the sense to get Bitcoin into other ecosystems so that you can trade with it and use its value for purpose, even DeFi or whatever the case may be. It's time for that to change. I agree. And most maxis don't agree with this, with Bitcoin. And most people think that maxis won't relinquish their control over their Bitcoin, which is going to be hard because they have a tight grip over them. But at the end of the day, capitalism wins. Capitalistic mentality wins. So I'm curious to see how BTC-Fi is going to be the next move, and I think it's going to be the major unlock. The same way gold is very liquid, where we can get into other markets with our gold, we should be able to get into other markets with our Bitcoin. Okay, and that's eventually going to happen. And we're already seeing all the writings on the wall of the restructuring of our capital markets. Guys, pay attention to this narrative. The Bitcoin narrative has not gotten the best reception just yet, but it's inevitable, guys. It's got to happen. Bitcoin doesn't need to change the way we use it. It basically. BTC-Fi is where it's at. I kind of agree, guys. 100%. SUI spearheading that maybe. Let's see. I like when L1s focus on one thing, like not real world assets, gaming, Bitcoin narrative, this and that. Focus on one, specialize, do well at it, and that way you can expand later on and scale up to different narratives. All right, guys, that's enough about SUI. Some good stuff here. It's not too bad. Let's take a look at charts, guys. I know you're talking about price action, so let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with SUI. SUI, at the end of the day, as I showed you, price action isn't that bad. Now, I understand that SUI took a hit. We already talked about the bearish case scenario. I try, obviously not to be a permabull here on this channel. We look at both the bearish case scenarios, and for those of you that were looking for shorts, that was your opportunity. I highlighted the point of interest to the downside once we made that double top and that bearish divergence and all of this stuff, as you can see. And since then, I've been quite quiet about SUI, but now it's time to talk about SUI. Why? Because it's at the bottom of the range, hitting my point of interest. Let's take a look at this in a little bit more detail. Now, as you can see, that was a bit of a mouthful here as I was introducing this SUI price action. Guys, it is what it is. Sometimes we look at triangular formations, we look at them as ascending, descending, or symmetrical, and we have our biases based on those structures and patterns, right? At the end of the day, pattern doesn't matter, right? Sentiment matters, liquidity matters, lots of different things matter. And SUI in the last little while has been having a hard time. No, its ecosystem is interesting, right? We know we have DeepBook, we got Cetus, and and we got many others, even Walrus, and many other different plays on SUI. I know for sure I'm missing something there, but regardless, the L1 itself right now is struggling, as you can see, but it's not exclusive to SUI. So what am I saying here? I'm saying that, guys, chill out, because all altcoins are looking bad. But really, is this looking that bad? You got to understand, it's not that bad, guys. You have to understand that a lot of us, including myself, started scaling into our bags on SUI down here. So how bad is it really? Okay, if you didn't take profits on this divergence, okay, maybe you took a bit of a hit. Okay, you took a bit of a hit. But this move to the upside from all the way in the bottom to all the way to the top, more or less, is about 800% move to the upside. Crazy. Crazy opportunity. Okay. Then all of a sudden we start looking at the dip from the top to more or less where we're at right now. Okay, we came down 50% of it has already been taken, which is significant, 50% of the gains. But still, there's still people 50% in profit, which is still fine. So where are we at here? The truth is that we're at a very important level, because if we start breaking below this low with conviction, there's no doubt in my mind that my entries are going to get tested. This is why these are critical. And it's not just SUI, it's Ethereum, it's Bitcoin. A lot of people that especially trade the lower time frames don't even really realize what this is. Right? They don't realize even what Bitcoin is printing. You guys need to zoom out once in a while. Get on the daily and zoom out. Get on the 4-day and zoom out. Get on the weekly and forget oscillators for a second here and just look at what the charts look like. Use the most primitive data that you have on a chart, which is supply and demand and time. Given the time, look at the supply and demand. And you will see that ultimately most altcoins, especially the large caps, I'm focusing significantly on SUI right now, but majority of the large caps are still okay based on their bear market bottoms. It's the smaller caps, it's the sub 1 billions that are suffering right now. And not all of them, but most of them. Almost, I would say 95% of them. So it is what it is. But SUI's not one of them, guys. We got to be real about this. The SUI's not suffering. It's not doing well, but it's not suffering. It's not in a place where we really need to fear. Now, what I want to worry about is this, or not really. Let's talk about, plain facts. This was an imbalance. It filled the imbalance. It filled it once, twice, 3 times. It still remains an imbalance. It's not like we hesitated in this range and created a lot of volume. There was a bit of volume right into here, as you can see, and that volume could be have been basically a big part of it came with that Friday, dump, as you can see. Another thing that I can see, and something that I've been, concluding across the market, is that the only asset that really filled its Friday wick, that Friday where we dumped, is Bitcoin. Rest of the market, including all the altcoins, the majority of them, from the ones that I remember and seen in the last little while, they did not fill that wick. So is that a sign of strength? Meaning, is that a sign that there's no more sellers? That people are not selling? It could be the case. Or is it maybe just that we just need to wait patiently for it to collapse further? It could be possible also, because if you look at what's really happening from top to bottom, we're still in a bearish stance. But if you kind of zoom out, it's not time to be bearish. In fact, risk to reward suggests it's time to be bullish on SUI. Why? Because we're at the bottom of the range. We filled the imbalance and we're at the bottom of the range. We have confluence here. Tops, cluster of supply and demand. Look at this. Look at the volume profile. Lots of volume right into here to act as support. Let's exclude this one because this is from many years ago. So leave that alone. And right now, let's focus on this bigger structure. And you'll see that obviously the more current price action is the most relevant. And you can see it's still an imbalance, but we got a huge node of volume right here that could act as support, almost equally as large as this one. So who's to say the same way this area built good volume for resistance, who's to say that this can't build good volume, this area can't be acting as support? Now, it might sound like I'm, smoking opium right now, which, guys, to a degree, who isn't? But the truth is that we broke down from this range to hunt the trendline liquidity, which we've done successfully. And the question is, how low do we go here? Based on a horizontal structure, you can see this is the time to start looking for a reversal. Because if it does break below this low, that's not that bad. But if it breaks below this low, guys, embrace for impact. Because with this V and this rounded top, it's an inverse Adam and Eve that should get follow through to the downside. Should. But the only way we confirm that is by getting a confirmed lower low. Not using this wick, guys. I've been excluding this wick, and so far so good. I don't want to complicate my life with that wick. All I know is that if we break below this bottom, we confirm a lower low, and this would be classified as a BOS to the downside. And after an impulsive move, getting a big three-wave structure to the downside, it's going to look corrective from a big picture perspective. And then how low do we go for real, guys? Coming down here, $1. Guys, is that possible? 80 cents? How low do we go? 54 cents? What are you going to do about it? That's a more important question. What are you going to do about it if we come down here? What do we do now? But to be honest, right now, if you have zero SUI in your spot positions, buy minimum 25%. Buy some. Why? Because at the end of the day, you can put a stop loss right here and cancel that, order, take a small loss and be done with it, right? And let it fall. But if not, if this range gets respected and we end up going for another impulsive move, and this whole crazy price action, guys, I've been defining this as the most crazy price action in a good while. I would say in a couple of years. It's because of how it is, where it is, and after this wick, how market's been behaving. It is crazy. It's crazy from a psychological perspective and a price action perspective. I'm expecting some crazy volatility to happen very soon, meaning a pump, either it be up or dump, even to the downside. Be honest, the bias is up with SUI. The bias is up still with the market. The bias is up even with TradFi and traditional markets and even political and many aspects. We're still up. However, guys, in the meantime, prepare for volatility. At this moment, I would be looking at this level as a key point of interest to start deploying at minimum spot bag positions. Look at this at lower time frames. Let's get down to the 4-hour. Look at what's happening here, guys. And this is a common fractal that exists across the market. It's not just SUI. I'm going to quickly mark this up to show you what I mean. Now, if we look at these tops, I'm just going to quickly put a trend line in. I'm not a trend line trader. I do not. But I focus on that to make the visuals a lot easier. I also want you to notice that these bottoms, okay, are very clean. Okay, very nice, right? We could definitely be on a channel, but we're just going to keep that like that for now. I definitely want to, you know what, this imbalance. I'm going to get on the daily real quick to see if that imbalance is still valid. Because I would like to remove it if it got filled already. No, it didn't. I already said it really didn't. Remember, we have a lot of weakness here, so let's keep that in mind, okay? Now, to the point that I would like to double up on this weakness, now here on the higher time frames, to identify this as an opportunity for volatility, okay? And then we get back into the 4-hour, we want to see how that presents itself. And you can see that although we do have volume here on this little structure that we're building, the truth is, on bigger picture, this is nothing. And we can get back to the top of the range once again. And that's what I would be looking for in the next little while, to be honest, especially if we get signs of bullish divergence here, okay? As you can see, and this structure is being formed on a lot of charts at the current moment. You can see right here, let's see, we got lower lows on the price action, higher lows on the momentum. That's class A bullish divergence forming right now on SUI on this chart, right into here. As you can see, let me make this thicker so we can see it, okay? And there's a couple of bearish aspects that I got to make very clear here. And there's a couple actually as I expand this oscillator. By the way, guys, if you want to know more about Synergy Signal, which is this oscillator, check it out. The links are in the description below. Okay. Couple things that we got to note here. We are desperate right now for support. This is definitely the healthiest risk to reward ratio opportunity you're going to get on this fractal. And the reason why is because you can put a stop loss right here and be done. Stop loss right here and be done. If this becomes a low, a higher low in comparison to this low, guys, it's not bad. What we really want to do after that is confirm a higher high by breaking above this high. That high needs to be broken. Okay, that's very important. If we break that high, we break the trend line. That's fine, whatever it is. We might see, a few confluent indications on EMAs here on the 4-hour, but really what's going to look good is how this picture starts to get a facelift. Let me just quickly show you. If we get around a bottom here and we start moving to the upside, we break this top, okay? Maybe we get another dead cat bounce. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe we break out in one go. And then maybe we come up here, get a rejected. Maybe we get into an exchange of hands here. Maybe we don't. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, this is what matters. If we can form a range and actually break the range instead of breaking to the downside, but break to the upside, this starts to turn into a pivot point structure, a proper change of character for a reversal. Okay. Now, negative aspect here. Let's be real about the negativity here. Negativity is that this could keep on dripping. Clearly, the trend is still our friend. It's slightly not because we're making a double bottom as we speak. If we invalidate, again, the trend is our friend. We're coming down to range lows. We're going to hit an extension level, probably getting down to the 1.618 down to about $2. Okay, that's more or less where I think we would go if we come down for another BOS, a break of structure down. However, what I do see is this expansion right here and this expansion. This one's slightly smaller, but they're fairly equal. Okay, which means that even if it is slightly smaller, look how the price action was a lot more aggressive. This was the bottom here. Look at this bottom. That's class B bullish divergence, class C bullish divergence. The reality is at this current moment, look at this expansion. It's still coming in hot, but it looks weak, guys. It doesn't look very strong. Let's give it some time, of course. Let's see how it projects over the next little while. But if it's weaker and smaller, guys, that is a sign of divergence. Price action is slowly, again, rolling to the upside, right? Slowly. This is how you build those pivots. This is how you get those transitionary phases. And guys, they most often, this is why I like these structures, most often than not, they usually begin with falling wedges and falling channels as such, as you can see. Now, one thing that I don't like, is to be clear, is the volatility line is hanging out right now. We got a bit of a wiggle right here. The orange line, let me just make this a bit bigger and show you what I mean. The orange line right now is still oversold. How long do we stay here? Sometimes we hang out a little bit. We already hung out a little bit, and you can see what happens when we get super bearish and don't get overbought. Could we get an overbought condition or a bullish response where we get the orange line overbought again, and perhaps to see the purple line continue in its uptrend? That's what we want. We want to trade momentum and volatility in the same direction. And it looks like we might be shifting to get follow through to the upside as long as we don't make a lower low, right? And mind you, we can still get three drives, triple drives of class A bullish divergence. It could happen, but the last thing you want to do is get trapped up into a move to the downside. I'd rather re-enter here on the third drive, look for a market structure shift here, and then start building and start looking for a reversal down here, right? That's fine. Right? You don't want to get trapped up too hard here if we do come down to this range of lows. Okay, so this is what we're trying to avoid. We don't want to get into a trap scenario either. Another thing that I don't like, and again, I'm going to be very neutral here, bring you both the bearish and the bullish case scenario, is that the EMAs are facing down with red histogram bars. We tried to get into the bullish control zone. It did try. And you know what? The effort is not done yet because we're still in the uptrend. You can see that very clear. We're still in the uptrend. You can see the blue expansions, big one, smaller, smaller. Okay, what does that tell you? Bearish response, bearish response, bearish response. The bears are losing their strength over time. That is clear. This is not fictional. This is not hopium. It is what it is right here. Okay, so how are we going to use this data to make an informed decision? Any opportunity that you see that price action respects the fact that the bears are showing weakness by making a lower high or a lower low, guys, especially right now with this potential double bottom, a higher low, this is what we want. A higher low, sorry. We want a higher low. As soon as we see the bears produce a higher low, right, or a lower high, guys, it's time to think that we could be getting that pivot and follow through on price action. It's not enough to trade just oscillators. We need to be looking for confluence on price action as well. And right now, SUI is at the early stages of potentially giving us an indication of a reversal. Okay, so it's early. Watch this material right now. And every so often, just get onto those higher time frames and realize how critical these levels are. Right? They're very, very critical, and it's across the market. It's not just SUI. All right, guys, if I've offered you any value here in this video, do the channel a massive favor. Slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join that Discord. That Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.